morning. So today we are going to make a Halloween cup. The cup is going to be like this, except shorter and Halloween themed. So the first thing we're going to need is just a piece of computer paper, and we're going to fold it in half. So this is going to be the dimension of our mug. We got 10.5 by 4 inches right here. And the first thing we're going to do with this piece of paper is unfold it. So we have 2 halves of one piece of paper, and 1 half is going to be the practice half and 1 half is going to be the final draft. So we're just going to take our marker and we're going to draw some Halloween type pictures. So my idea is a bat, and here's my bat. You see that? And then we're gonna do maybe a pumpkin. I think we're gonna do a pumpkin stack. So here's my pumpkin stack. And over here we're gonna do a moon and some clouds and some stars. Doesn't really matter what color marker we need, because this is just going to be the transfer onto the slab of clay later on, and I will show you that. So here's my rough draft. I'm going to do another one up here, and I'll pick the best out of the two. Right, so here is my rough draft and my final draft. I like this one better. So, okay, now we're gonna roll out the slab of clay. And for this, we're going to need a pin tool and a ruler, which is right here. Pin tool and a ruler, and obviously some clay.
You guys are really good.
So here's my clay. And we're just going to measure that real quick. And flatten it out. I'm going to take the rolling pin and get our rectangle ready. We want our rectangle to be 4 inches by 10.5 inches. And you'll notice as I'm wedging and rolling out my clay, I'm picking it up and flipping it over so it doesn't get stuck to the board. And that should be about the right size. So we'll take the ruler. Oh yeah, we're good. So I'm going to take the ruler and cut a flat edge. We'll set this aside for later. And we're just going to mark it 10.5 inches. Cut this side. Now we need 4 inches going up. So here's 4 inches here, and here's 4 inches here. And we're just going to cut that. And here's my rectangle. Now we're going to take our paper again and put it marker side down. And we need a wet sponge. And we're just going to make the paper wet and tap, tap, tap. And this should create a transfer of the marker onto the clay. See? Yep. So it works better if the marker's a little bit darker, but you can still kind of see it. So it's faint, but it's there. And we're just going to take our pen tool and carve everything back onto the clay.
Yeah, it looks like your job is really easy today.
Do that. And the pumpkin stack. And some stars. And some clouds. So here is our clay slab. It is Halloween themed. We got stars and a pumpkin stack and a bat and some clouds. And we're just gonna set that off to the side. Now we're gonna take our paper again and our armature form. And we're gonna roll the paper around the cylinder like that. So it's tucked
I
in
grabbed
like
up
that,
one of the air sorts.
and we're gonna set that off to the side. And then we need one of these extra pieces of slab from earlier, and we're going to roll the clay slab with the rectangle shape in the Halloween decoration, and we're just going to roll it around the cylinder like this, and we need to scratch to attach. So here's my little scratching tool, or you can use one of these pin tools. And I have some slip off to the side.
Yeah, just adding a feel to the Transportation Mode Code collection.
And just press that together. And you might have to come back in with the pin tool and redraw some of this because you're going to lose it in the overlap. But you can do that a little bit later. Next, we're going to just do the bottom of the cylinder. So you take your leftover piece of clay slab from earlier and you place it underneath your cylinder and just trace. We're just going to trace it out. You don't need to cut it now. You cut it after you move the cylinder out of the way. So you see it, you just cut it out. And then you can take your pin tool or your scoring tool and just go around the edge like that. And then same thing on this bottom part of the cylinder here. You just go around the edge. And take your paintbrush and your slip. And slip both surfaces that you want to attach. And then press it all together. And then the next thing you're going to want is a handle. So we're just going to smooth all this together. I like to put my handle on the seam. And I have to pick a spot to add my moon back in after I put the handle on, because the handle's going to cover up the moon. But we want to make that nice and smooth so it connects. And I'm going to take this extra bit of clay right here and just roll out a coil. calligraphy here. And I like to put a nice thumbprint on the top of the foil, for the top of the handle, and a nice thumbprint at the bottom, just to give it that nice sort of rounded shape. And then we're going to attach where the seam was. So we take our scoring tool, like that, and we'll score at the top. Little bit of slip. And just smoothing it off right here to make sure that we have a good connection. And then I don't really want it that long, so we're going to kind of finagle it a little bit. I kind of like it like that. And we still need to scratch to attach and slip. And the next thing we need to do is get the cylinder out of there. So I take the lid off at this point, and it relieves the sort of tension, the surface tension. And you just pull it out. And then there's the inside of the cup. And then you want to take your paintbrush and just smooth everything out. And at this point, you can also smooth the edge of your cup. And then now is a good time to take your pen tool and add in any of the shapes that got sort of smudged while you were putting it all together. So I'm going to put the moon back right here. Kind of fix up some of these star shapes. Put the edge back on this cloud right here. And there we go. That's it. I hope you enjoyed my Halloween cup video. Please like and follow for more. See you next time.